obviously, it's not something that he had to force on us, but it's something that, we had never done before. So I think it was just awesome that we all got a chance to kind of come together and bond and learn more about, the guys that you're out there battling with every day, because that has a lot to do with, success as a team. It's not so much what you do on Sundays, but how close are you guys and what kind of chemistry do you have, Monday through Saturday. So I think, so far, I think we're all heading in the right direction, and I'm really happy with our progress.
Let's talk a little bit about Jason Campbell. I mean, obviously he's the center point of the offense, and a guy who's going to come in, and you guys hopefully are going to do big things with him, and he'll probably be your guy. But at the same time, your boy Gradkowski last year, he played pretty well and had some big wins. So is there a quarterback battle at all right now, or is it pretty much what do you think?
That's a good question, and obviously Jason was probably our biggest, arguably our biggest offseason, move, as far as bringing him in at quarterback and aiming to make him the guy. And he's a sharp guy. He throws an accurate ball. He's a natural leader, which is exactly what we need, especially offensively. But I'm not the one to count out Bruce. I know Bruce. I know what the guy's made of. He's tough. He's always ready to play. He's a very passionate guy. And he's one of those guys that just goes out there and gets it done. No matter what you put in front of him, he'll fight and he'll figure out a way to get it done. And you got to appreciate that in whatever quarterback you have out there. So, you asked, is there a quarterback battle? Not really, but potentially. It kind of is what it is as far as, who the starter is going to be and how it's going to be set up. But I know Bruce, and he's not going to without a fight.
All right. The NFL is all about competition. Any way you look at it. So
exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about, you had mentioned your stud first-round pick in Rolando McClain. I think, I remember watching the draft, and when I heard his name selected, I remember thinking, wow, that's a great pick for you guys, especially with those two big defensive tackles up front. And you got, Henderson in there and Seymour and their great three techniques. They're going to occupy a lot of blockers. So, McClain is he's going to have room to roam. He's going to have some free shots, getting in the backfield. How's he looking so far in camp?
I'll tell you what, man, the kid has really came in and just it's been a seamless transition, from last year to this year as far as, defensively at that position. He's just come in. He's absorbed everything we're trying to put in front of him. He's picked it up very fast, and he's a downhill, middle linebacker. That's all you need. He comes downhill. He's not afraid to get in there, bang. He's getting the coverages. He's learning all the plays, and he has no problem calling the defense and kind of being a leader out there. And, he's a little soft-spoken at first. I had to get him to speak up a little bit. Now he's loud, and, he's just out there having fun. And, it just looks natural. I mean, the kid is a complete natural.
Right. Now, you guys out in Oakland, you're one of the fewer teams. I mean, it's getting less and less every year, but more teams seems like they're switching to that 3-4 defense. And you guys still run, a traditional 4-3.
Wonderful.
So, what's that?
The 4-3 is wonderful.
Yes, and the Giants showed with four dominant,
exactly.
D linemen what you can do, and teams in the past like the Buccaneers when you got those four studs. Now, for you personally, okay, like this is a contract year for you. You potentially could be a unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. Let's just be hypothetical and say that you don't resign with the Raiders and you do test the open market. As a defensive end, is there a skill set that you think that if you went to a 3-4 team, where would you find your role? Would you be able to stand up and move to outside linebacker, or would you probably try to slide into a 5 technique and stay on the line?
What's funny about that? I had actually, just kind of thought about that, just kind of, wondered, man, the league's kind of changing. What if we decided to go to a 3-4? Where would they put me? And I guess the beauty of my situation is I'm kind of naturally a tweener anyway. I can be big enough that I can play 3-4 end. Early in my career, my rookie year, I was about 290 pounds. My first year, and I played a little 3-4 end. We had a lot of different packages, and I would play head up on the tackle, in that 4 technique. I was 3-4 end, for certain situations. And then I'm to the point where I can be light enough that there have been packages where I've had to stand up. I'm about 268 now, 270, so I can stand up and I can come off the edge. I can drop into coverage. I've been blessed with enough ability that I can kind of do whatever a team asks of me. So for me personally, it's whatever the team needs me to do. If they say, hey, we need you to be a little bit heavier and line up, head up on the tackle, no problem. I can do that for you. If they say, hey, we need you to kind of lean up and come off the edge and cover the flats, no problem. I can do that for you too. So, I'm fortunate that I can kind of do both.
Let's talk a little bit about Al Davis. I mean, he's an owner, I think, that a lot of fans kind of like to take shots at and tease him a bit. But I think one thing a lot of football fans don't realize is back in the day, Al Davis was heralded as a brilliant football mind. And I know that Bill Walsh even commented that some of the West Coast offense that he put together, he used a lot of different styles, and some of it came from Al Davis and the knowledge that he had. Do you guys as players ever sit and talk shop, so to speak, with your owner? Does he ever come down and kind of drop some knowledge on you that makes you say, wow, man, this guy really knows his stuff? Or is he kind of just off in the background and you don't really...
No, it's actually funny you bring that up. And let me just say, before I say anything, no one is more appreciative than Mr. Davis than me, because he gave me my first shot in the NFL. He drafted me and really gave me a shot to start, as a young player. And I think that was, huge for me as far as experience and as far as just getting a shot to go out there. And it was because of him that I had that shot. But the funny thing about Coach Davis, I call him Coach Davis because he's a coach too. I mean, this guy is a football guy. He's not your typical owner that, pays the bills, wants to make sure everything's running smoothly and gets out of there. Oh, no. He will call you on your phone, Monday morning after a game and tell you exactly, where you were lining up wrong or if you were playing a certain technique a little off. And he demands perfection. And that's why we love him, because he really cares. And no one cares about their players, more than Al Davis, man. I mean, the guy, if you do a good job for him, he will take care of you and he'll make sure, that you get everything you need. And he is like you said about him being a football mind. He's sharp as a tack even right now. I mean, he'll watch film of everything that's going on. He'll watch film of practice, and he'll come back, and if for some reason something's a little wrong, he will tell you about it. And I think, it's hard not to appreciate that.
All right, before we wrap it up with you here, sir, I want to ask you one question here. The Raiders fans are going to want to know, give us a little inside scoop. Who's the one guy in training camp that has you guys all talking amongst yourselves saying, this is the guy that you got to watch out for in 2010. He's just going to make strides and get everybody's attention out there in Raider Nation.
That's something I got to really think about. I think we're having, as a team, a really good camp. Everybody's coming out and performing well, and it's really impressive to see. I got to say, Heyward-Bey is really making strides. Between last year and this year, he looks like a different player, and I think that's. I'm sure you guys might have even heard that. And I think that's really important for him to come out this year and have a good year, because the kid can do it. We just want him to go out there and do it consistently. I think he will this year. So I would have to definitely put him out there. McClain's our first round pick, so you expect him to be good, and he's just that. He's good. He's really good. And I think he has a chance to possibly even be a defensive rookie of the year candidate. I think a lot of guys would agree with that. So. We got a couple studs, man. I just hope everybody, stays healthy.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the defensive rookie of the year, I think it's 9 straight years in a row it's been a linebacker. So, the last person not to be a linebacker was Julius Peppers, I believe, and that was some time ago because he's been in the league a long time. So McClain is definitely a good candidate for that. Well, Jay, we want to thank you so very much for coming on our website and talking to us. We really enjoyed getting the inside scoop and getting the skinny on the Oakland Raiders and everything that's going on out there. We want to commend you for all your work in the community and your foundation and helping young kids and getting that education that's so important. And kudos to you for being a pillar in the NFL. It really means a lot to us to speak with you, and good luck to you in 2010.
Hey, thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks for having me, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Steve O'Reilly. That's Jay Richardson, and you're watching SkinnyPost.com, giving you the skinny 24/7.